you know, we've actually been talking to these boys backstage, and honestly, we've been hyping them up, and honestly, why not? Because we just said off air, you said it yourself, it's as if they are a pro team that's been here from the start. Like, the way they're playing, they've just said to us, Evil just said to us, and it is Evil, we've just confirmed that with him. His name is Levy, of course it is backwards. He prefers to pronounce it that way.
Evil with an E in English, he said.
Yeah,
okay,
and the main thing for it is, you know, they've got over their hump. If you think of kickoff cups, you think of promos where they've, previously when they've got to land, they've choked, you could say.
Bottled it.
Is basically bottled it, choked, whatever you want to say. That clearly has now passed. They've got over that hump, and they are, as in, from his words, we're gaining confidence now. And you saw it in that last game, you know. They left the compound. They were safe in that compound. They could have quite easily just sat there and picked off the shots and thing, but no. They saw an opportunity. They saw Raise Your Edge, Desperado's, FaZe Clan all fighting in a trifecta on the hill, and they pushed up and swept out and picked themselves up kills from it. It was very well played. Now we're moving on to Sanhok. It's a map that's actually gone very well for them on the first 2 days of the PEL Phase 3 here. So we'll see how it works out. A lot of fights to keep our eye on now as we do move on to Sanhok, though. Obviously, the main one being from the off is, of course, NIP and Desperado still going at it in the temple. We've also started to see a couple of fights brewing all across the map. We've got Raise Your Edge and 7, I believe it was, that's up in the north. They're kind of clashing with each other. Na'Vi and ENCE are kind of in a position where they're bumping into each other with Little Triangle. TomiL is ready for the temple, it seems. A little triangle of battles between TSM Team Liquid FaZe, kind of a tactical battle between Bootcamp, Painan, etc., where they're trying to find these little positions. So we've got little pockets of fights that are going on at the moment, and we'll see where this one goes and who can come out on top in the third match of Sanhok. And it is a training ground for a lot of these guys. They've scrimmed it, they've played it, but as has always been pointed out by the pro teams, scrims don't mean anything. They're simply a case of learning and warming up.
Look, you have to play this a completely different way. It's a very unorthodox map. It's a totally different play style to anything we've ever had before. It's small. It's very close combat. There are a lot of situations where you can find yourself king of the hill, or basically running a hill embankment into a waiting hut below you with teams just completely drilling you from the windows. It's weird, it's wonderful, it's wild. Again, there's still split decisions on whether people are unhappy with it, happy with, you know, even happy playing on it and away from home or a bit uncomfortable. But at the end of the day, it's what it is. It's going to be here for PGC. You're gonna. It's not just PEL. Every other league is playing it. We're going to be playing it at the World Championships. I think it would be fair to say one of the stronger points you can bring to this is individual firepower. Being able to take your fights, being able to land those shots. I'm still yet to really see a marksman go completely ham on this because of how quick it is. You don't necessarily see the marksman just having that long-range headshot, which in public you tend to see a lot more. You see someone cresting a hill and you can just pop them and bomb them. But with these, the QBUs are so relevant and so... I want to say it's slightly overpowered because of the amount of recoil on them. It can get a bit messy from time to time. Those guns are a complete and utter haymaker. And I think if one thing were to be changed, it'd probably reduce the amount of spawns on that one, or even take it off completely altogether. You were touching on it yesterday, how it's this overall theme of trying to keep what we see in normal games slightly, you know, to the same of what we see in esports. I understand that, and I see where you're coming from, and I can see the complete added benefits. The one thing I would like to see from PUBG is keeping the weapons completely the same. I don't like the fact that we have a QBZ here and no SCAR. I think the SCAR is a fantastic weapon in itself. It's one that we see a lot of pros wane towards because it's a very get-up-and-go gun. We don't need the attachments to control that thing. You can just use it off the bat.
Yeah, I mean, I understand why they've got it in there that's regionalized and like guns of that region. This would be the gun they'd use in that region rather than a SCAR. Obviously, it's a different weapon. But anyway, it is a decent plane for just about everyone involved. Anyone can drop to where they like. Camp Alpha over for G2. Even if it's a long drop, it's, as you can see, 2 simple squares which you can easily drop across in a standard parachute drop. It does mean... keep your eyes peeled. It does mean that we have the Ruins battle once again. NIP, Desperados, still going down there.
I respect it. I really do.
The Knights have adjusted. The Knights have gone over Camp Bravo. They used to be down the same, which means now there's open territory for either NIP or Desperado to adjust. Because the Knights have gone Camp Bravo.
You look at that, the Sammy's completely free if they really wanted to go for it and maybe push Rec back into Camp Charlie and keep them focused between there and Bantai. We're obviously going to stick with the fact that it happens. It's happened so far twice back-to-back this weekend. And you know what? Let's round off week number 1 with another hot drop scenario. Weapons in hand. I'm seeing UMP. Shotguns early. Engagement comes through. Calvin Klein, first one to hit the deck. Much cleaner this time, but there's an instant response and an instant flush. SIMSY is there for some defensive stance. Back-to-back ARs. The reload needs to happen, though. It's a stronger one than the UMP is. Upper hand at the moment. Catches Ultra in the open. Thank God he had to reload. He gets away with his life.
Yeah, no meds, remember. So this earlier fight, they're going to be scrambling for meds and try and see what they can. You can see Ultra and SIMSY both down low. Gax is going to get an early shot here. Doesn't manage to take TomiL off. He's going to get shot in the back. He's running away from it. He's going to get caught out, and he will. He's going to drop down. Will they be able to flush? It looks like they will. But they're going to come in fast up there with the UMP and just guns them both down. They got greedy, went for the flush, and now SIMSY, the last man standing. Ooh. Always action-packed. This one's not going to go for 8 minutes, I don't think.
That's
like yesterday.
Very unexpected. And again, there are layers to this maze area, and that's what it is. It is a maze. The Temple Ruins, you can jump up on these pillars that you see him walk by and hit that top roof, and there is an entry point. And you could even go further than that and hit the 3rd quadrant all the way up top to where Vard is. They didn't check it. It was a great kill. It was a bit of a poor turn initially from MBS to just turn and face. They both pushed him, they killed him, but then they collateraled. They followed through with it. Unfortunately, they didn't expect it. The UMP is a very weak weapon. But at this stage of the game, when you have absolutely no gear whatsoever, any weapon is the strongest in the world, and it's going to instant you. You've got no chest, you've got no head. Even if you are still, it's going to be limited. You can't go around scraping for gear until players are down. NIP, I think, are going to win this one out.
Yeah, SIMSY's still not completely left. You can see he's found himself a bit of meds, so
different circle.
going to get themselves out. It has gone down to the southwest at the moment. We'll see, obviously, there's a lot of alterations now. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the circle movement for water is actually in phase 3 as opposed to phase 4, which it has been for both, obviously, Miramar and
4 and 8, 3 and 6. So it's brought one forward early in both parts of this.
Obviously, being a much smaller map, it makes sense.
I personally want them to remove it completely from this.
Well, this makes a lot of rotations very different. Yeah, actually, I'm with you on that. 100% you could have a water finish. Not so much water finish, but there's no reason to. I don't know.
If you've been playing Vikendi for a while, there were quite centralized circles, and they're a bit. Not necessarily random, but very readable. And then they changed it completely so the circles could go anywhere on the edge. And now we get these even more to this circle. It would be probably furthermore out on the western side. We get a lot of weird and wonderful water circles where they can play on the edge. It just mixes things up a little bit more.
It's a tropical island. There's water everywhere, so I guess it doesn't really matter. It's not like we're finishing in like the Bay of Georgia Pole or something like that. So, but anyway, that's for people with far more educated values than I have within the game. And this is going to make a lot more different rotations, I think.
I'd like to know if there's a lot more bridge camping that can be happening now. Oh my God, I'm just seeing FaZe really quickly. They've got a double drop. And when I say a double drop, I literally mean the crates are on top of one another.
Yeah.
So FaZe not only easy hop, skip, and a jump from Painan and their home location, they've just been gifted 2 level 3 amounts of gear.
Just floating on down.
Unless NIP get really greedy and go for him and just think, oh.
Well, they've still got to deal with SIMSY. He's still there. SIMSY's still in there. And this little ruins battle could go on for a while because there's no reason for any of them to move either.
In the north, 7 and G2, they're on parallel transition. They are hitting the bridge now. 7 is just directly behind them. Further in, you get NIP. Team Liquid have actually been halted, by the way, and that's by TSM. They've taken up residency just off to Painan. They're behind FaZe Clan. Further down south, bit of a sweep from Rec, which helps out ENCE because that gives them an entry point into this circle now. They'll come in on Camp Charlie. The Knights, slow and steady wins the race.
That's 2 M249s.
Where have we seen that? Oh, the Miramar game with NIP.
Ooh, SIMSY caught Vard in the back. They were trying to get out of the ruins.
Does he even have any gear? Has he just sat here and thought?
He's collected a bit. Look, he's got utility in that. He's only got tier 1 helmet on, but G2 are now passing on by. Jeems has caught off Mert and Sixmo. Ibby just going off.
get all 4?
Well, they're stuck. I mean, they're stuck, but literally behind trees. It's 2 little rocks. They can the position the Team Liquid now. They've actually got Gemty that's gone over the river already. Samty is going along the river bank towards it, but now they've got to be careful because N47 are being drawn towards this. You can see them. T-Bone, Car 98 available. Yeah, you're not going to get up the hill there. And the question is, will they lose people in the crossfire? Someone that has is NIP. And the problem is, everybody knows that there's this battle going on in ruins. So anyone can come along or catch them out. And my word, TSM have just caught G2 out.
Braexco also, so G2 falling from 2 different angles here.
Oh, they crashed.
There's 3 teams, NIP, TSM, and FaZe. I think FaZe will stay where they are and maybe push them back, but G2 did turn up to this. They are at the walls, they're at the gates. They're lingering through, but look at that. 2 of them back-to-back. mxey has gone down, though. That's devastating.
It was NELLOZ from the other side. It was the other angle that worked out for NELLOZ there, giving the cover fire. And that leaves mxey, as you say, and that was tier 3 gear.
Big loss, that.
The add-on. NELLOZ was getting the off angle. It does mean he's going to have to back away and just keep his team alive. No chance of getting the revives on Yannis and Braexco. So FaZe will lose 1. G2, though, will lose 3 in the early skirmishes.
Last player from NIP has been spotted out. Playing the water. This is a weird maneuver. They're very aware of that bridge and they don't want to get camped.
So they actually works out well now because they can come in Tambang or Nakam. I mean, either way, nobody's expecting this push.
They'll hear them, though. That's the thing, is even from where FaZe are, you can still hear those boats because it's such a small map.
You know, the irony of this next circle is that NIP have only got Gaxi left, SIMSY in ruins, and the ruins is dead central.
That circle goes to ruins.
If DESPERADO end up with like some top placement points with SIMSY just surviving, this is going to be amazing.
You ever seen the original Alien vs Predator?
Yeah.
It just reminds me of this scenario, that temple underneath the snow. So many layers to it and so many little tunnels. It's my favourite drop spot on this map by far. But again, it's contested. And it's contested for good reason. I was talking yesterday. The bells on the outside in the little buildings, every single one is like a little mini pack of gear. Every single one. Generally speaking, between 2 bells, you can get helmet, chest, guaranteed an AR.
Everything you need. Yeah.
Everything. It's really easy to gear up. And again, you have those 3 layers between it. It's a nice area.
So NIP have managed to get themselves back together. Gaxi and Vard are combined. That crate drops kind of near Team Liquid. It's going to be on the hills just behind where the camera was showing us there, as ENCE will come in. Now, they've got to come in behind Reciprocity, who've just took up residence in the top of the hill. Oh, GamerLegion. This is all happening. GamerLegion, oh, they're in a horrible spot. They have to come across this bridge right into Razor Edge. This is going to be a second team going down here, I feel. I'm not too sure they're going to be able to get across this river because Razor Edge are all across the river on the corner here. GamerLegion forced to basically flee to the west, but it's all open over there.
You can go uphill. If they do, they'll be out of line of sight. As it does elevate, there is a big amount of trees. Wanted onto Page. That's a 24 coming in. We're speaking about sniper rifles and when we'd see them in play. I did see on N47 earlier on, they've actually got 2 marksmen. There's an M24 and a Car 98 between T-Bone and another player. Wanted's getting aggressive. The grenade's done some damage. Page is down. Second nade follows up. And unfortunately, that's going to be the end of N47, or at least this side of the roster. Smokes in the water just to make sure they can collect the gear here. Wanted still with the silencer. That's good. Snark's just been a nuisance. Can't shoot him through the water. Just let him bleed down. There we go. Just let him drown in peace.
Let's just secure it. Skoom got shots on Na'Vi down low, but looks like Reciprocity going to continue to just reposition.
Really quickly, sorry to interrupt you here. I had no idea CrowCrowd are actually behind GamerLegion. I still didn't know they coming so late.
They're coming in late. We couldn't even see them on the map.
So they were safe, but now they're not. They're actually taking up. They'll take up residency basically where GamerLegion's actually left, and they've run this uphill. What I said with all the trees to take the bridge and get out of Razor Edge.
But will CrowCrowd do exactly the same as GamerLegion? Try and cross there and run straight into Razor Edge again, just like GamerLegion did. I
can see Lynxy and Coldamenta are overextending away from the rest of the pack that are just sat down on the corner houses, which means they're either tracking GamerLegion or they're looking for info.
Well, the Knights are still in the blue. It's ironic that they've chosen to move away from Sanmi in that camp where they've been dropping, and the circle goes onto their position. I bet internally they're like, I told you not to go camp, bruh.
Well, this is rough for Knights once they come out of the blue
Yeah,
damage.
that's what I was just saying. They got nowhere to go.
Yeah. I didn't realise Na'Vi were there as well as Rec.
And
That's
FaZe Clan
brutal.
centered up. Okay, so it does pull away from the ruins. Goes a little further south. TSM are in a good spot as well. Really quite a bold spread from TSM as well to try and cover off. 7, by the way, they were the team that came in on the boat, remember? They've actually come in and got themselves a really nice position, knowing full well nobody's on their back.
GamerLegion should easily get across this bridge. I'd expect to see CrowCrowd to go head-to-head with Raise Your Edge shortly. Coldamenta, if he's got range on that gun, will see the bridge. Will hold for a second. M47 making a run. James is feeding all this info back. That's why he's holding his trigger just for a second. There's only 2 players here. Doesn't realise Evil is still on the left-hand side on the hard swing. This is a good chance for him to push up and maybe try and make something happen against Team Liquid because the players are all not together. James was off from the rest of the pack. He's damaged. He's down, but not out. Maybe gives him cover from the hillside. Liquid's quite sparse here. This could play out for M47, maybe even just a retrade or something, a point or 2. Would do nicely before they go down because I'd expect them.
They're going to try and cross. They're going into Raise Your Edge. Now, does Raise Your Edge... Oh, yeah.
They're camping it.
All 4 of them are looking this way from Raise Your Edge. All 4 members are looking that direction. James goes aggressive once again. That's a good grenade. He catches FaZe, big chunk of damage. Second one comes into the smoke. Will get the knock on Evil. And you can see FaZe's got nothing. The second nade, third nade will find them. Ooh. And SIMSY delivers.
All for support.
Oh, they've got to cross the river here. Coldamenta will catch one out, though. Tiikzu turns on him. mxey has to duck away. That nade's going to find Coldamenta. It rolls right up to his rock, unfortunately. mertgungor just shot mxey. Hello? What is going on? mertgungor, though, does manage to make up for it. Gets mxey down. Smoke goes out. Now Molly, that's going into the water, mate. It doesn't spread too much there.
That's the main issue, is that they've come across this and didn't realise that Raise Your Edge is split in a 2-2. Someone should be able to get an eye with that SKS. You can see the top of NOOKIE's gun. Just can't see his head. Shaves it slightly, the blue. You got to move. At least one of these 2 teams does the damage, forces them out. The blue will tick away. Eventually, you're going to have to move from this one. Both these teams will be healing up. sigsy and mertgungor get the call for support. They come through. Tap, tap, tap. And again, we're in the blue now, so it will be doing so much damage to them while they're taking bullet aggro as well. They're down. They're dead. Raise Your Edge. They lose mxey. They're in the blue.
They got him back on his feet.
They can at least, for now, get him back up. They can't. The problem is that you cannot collect the meds from CrowCrowd. You've got to run. So
while that was happening, the Knights and Reciprocity clash there. You just see a bit of third party coming in. Actually, James catching Bestlosh and Shiv in the back. Gemty getting one.
Oh.
NIP getting pressured. Looks like GamerLegion. Remember, there was only 2 members of NIP left. One's down and out at the moment. Where did that nade go? He's safe with it. Kaxi's going to try and pop flash it. I think that was a nade, just went straight on top of him. He's going to have to run around the corner. Gets away with it. Vard will go down, so it's a 1-on-1. Hamster versus Gaxi as they try and push the position. Team Liquid, well, they've caught Na'Vi completely in the back there. Aduzi turns on them, but will get taken down by James, judging by the kill feed there. And now ubah is coming back up the hill. So Reciprocity and Knights have been fighting for quite a while here. While that Raise Your Edge and CrowCrowd fight was going on, that's missed. That's going to catch him out, and Drayden up on high. Snark doing some work. Hink comes around the side. Drayden peeks in, and they're going to take Reciprocity down, but they've got to run because this is a hard shift on the circle. It's gone to the ruins again, and SIMSY's still in there for Desperados.
Coldamenta's knocked by the blue, I think. I don't think it was actually a player who saw him. They'll be happy because it's SIMSY on his own inside ruins and everyone else is all the way down south. This is kind of tempted to happen a few times. You kind of saw what Drayden did there to help his team out on the off angle. It looks like Gaxi did get that kill, and NIP are still in this one on his own. So they did, but now all the teams down south have to clash. 7, G2, ENCE. It's going to be a 3-way battle to make it all the way towards FaZe Clan. We'll bring the kill feed up. I'm seeing G2 doing damage at the moment. On to 7, but the nades are up, they're over. It's also in. G2 is dead. Yeah, NELLOZ was the only man standing for G2 there, but FaZe have caught Rustanmar and ENCE off guard. Drayden's trying to send it in a bike. Na'Vi will go down to Team Liquid because they were coming in. Numbers simply weren't on their side. The Knights try and bail. SKUIJKE catches Krabic off. Buster down low. TRYFFELI hits the dirt as Edelweiss takes him down. The Knights somehow made it in, and they've actually leapfrogged Team Liquid. That's happening over on the east side, but here on the west, ENCE are continuing to pressure. 7. Now Buster, the last man standing. Don't really know where he can go. He's just going to have to duck, dodge, and weave. Try and do as much as he can to scramble away from this one. Get down low because ENCE have come in and rolled through them. questionable play by Edelweiss to try and take that angle. I understand the idea behind it, to maybe get the off angle and catch them behind. Unfortunately, though, it's an open run with no cover whatsoever. Liquid have found TSM heading up the hill. Michael trying to seal the deal onto Jeems. He will do. Removes one from the playing field, but there's plenty more still to deal with. Two of them directly below him. Michael and Rory up close and personal. Rory holds the line. Does that grenade tag Ibby, though, coming out through the smokes. He's focusing on Jempty. Don't realise he's so close. Rory could be the saviour here. Michael does have his support if needed. He now needs to keep an eye on Jempty. Keep him at bay. Do the damage. Ibby is the next problem here for TSM.
And looking at, obviously, we're in a much closer environment now. It's a really small circle. Raise Your Edge are getting drawn into this. They're coming down from the north. They're running straight south towards the Knights. Knights obviously now forced to do something as well. Snark will get taken down by Jempty. Jempty, the last man standing for Team Liquid there. It's going to be a one-on-one. Drayden gets picked off. Jempty goes big for his team again. 12 kills encountered for Team Liquid, but they've only got the one man standing. FaZe Clan, meanwhile, still got 3 in their little compound. The Ruin's still in the circle. I don't think it's going to be in the next one. And NIP will, in the end, be the man that take down Buster. So Gaxy's still alive as well in this little battle. But it's TSM right now that are in a really strong position. They had a great spread. We were talking about it earlier on, and it totally caught Team Liquid off. They were trying to do this long push, but it has completely caught them off guard. Jempty now for Team Liquid. But while TSM were doing all that, Raise Your Edge came down from the north, and they've took a central compound, a really strong compound with a crate drop right next to it.
I'm seeing Jempty out in the blue here, and the reason that he's kind of doing that will be simply that if someone shoots him and takes his health away, if they kill him, great, they get the point. If not, and he's down to like 1-2 ticks of HP off of it, the blue then collects him and it denies a point. It's a bit of a clever play. You're playing on Death's Door until you can find somewhere better, but again, it's preemptive that someone else isn't going to be able to retrieve that point. Grenade goes out. I want to touch on something.
Gaxy's got 7 nades.
Something else he did earlier on, which was really clever. He used the mollies kind of as they should be. They do spread on wood, and you could see what he was doing. He put it down. I think it was the fight against... Oh, I can't remember, but he put the molly down in front of the door, basically as an area of denial. Wait, it stops them entering the building.
SIMSY is tracking Gaxy. SIMSY is totally tracking Gaxy.
If he kills him, this would be so ironic.
I mean, Gaxy's totally exposed to him. Yep, SIMSY's shooting him. SIMSY's taking shots onto Gaxy now. Gaxy's got no cover over there other than a smoke maybe, but there's a reload coming out from SIMSY. ENCE have got absolutely nothing here because they've all completely left.
The irony that he's killed him
and
from
SIMSY
ruins.
gets Gaxy.
He's just, I can see on the map, he's just spraying in a 360 circle. It's a celebration shot.
Sprayed around.
He survived ruins against NIP.
Desperados win ruins this time around. It took 19 minutes for that battle to play out, and I guess he just forgot that SIMSY was still there. Or just didn't expect it to still be there.
He was just spinning out the tracer fire, just spinning around in a circle. Oh, well, at least they get it, you know, and he has made it up there. Some
Norwegian celebration. Now, Jempty, ironically, got drawn to that, so he knows that SIMSY is there. He's still alive. He's actually got around all the way to the north. And this little play from Raise Your Edge, while TSM and Team Liquid are playing out, has worked out wonders for them. Oh, Michael been down. That's going to take TSM down to 3. As FaZe Clan also on 3. Remember, they still have that Tier 3 armor that they picked up with the double crate. It's a Wookiee suit. It's a Wookiee Fuzz trying to cross the road. Gustav sees him, collects him. And ENCE actually, because of that, ENCE have sneaked across, and they've got the, what's the word I'm after? The cliffs, maybe, of ruins? It's just kind of rocky cliffs there.
It's a really good split from TSM. They've kind of baited FaZe out of this one. So they left. I know Michael went down, but he was out of harm's reach to be able to get the res off. Leaving Gustav and Rory back on the backlines means that once FaZe are out of this compound, there's potential for them to be going down. Jempty just running the gauntlet. Both solo players are down and dead. They've been removed from the server. ENCE have now just turned, and they're facing towards FaZe Clan. They're going to have to fight their way out of this. They do have the level 3 gear. Nope, they don't. Not anymore. Fuzz is down. He's dead. You can see shots are ringing in the distance from TSM. There has been a response, though.
Oh, no. Aitzy's using that tree to block, but he's got one side ENCE. The other side is TSM. He's got nowhere to hide there. SKUIJKE on a mission here. 5 kills encountered for him, as well as Jempty had 5 as well. So some big individual performances here. ubah's now in the blue. Tell a lie. He's picked up mxey's gear, by the way. You can see that. Ooh, 60 found TSM on the hill.
And they're outside of this. A bit of their compound will be in here. No one can really do anything from the water's edge. That's not a problem whatsoever for either of these teams. They'll just leave them down there. ENCE could play that. ubah could be a problem for TSM. Maybe just refrags and trades off one player.
Lynxy gets away with it. I was going to say, that's an open cross. He could have smoked it, but if he does, then as soon as you smoke it, you give your position away. It's a multi-thing. But look at TSM. Look at this speed. They're piling around the corner. They're thinking, right, we need to flush it. We know FaZe are down low. ubah, though, with an M249 at this close range, could cause a lot of problems for them, and he's exposed to the rock. He was in the open, didn't have the cover, got the knock, but that means Gustav's gone and done. There's no way they're going to be able to get the revive on him.
SKUIJKE comes through, seals the deal, and picks up the point away from FaZe Clan, but it's good to be able to travel like that as a 4-man unit. Means that individuals don't die, and ubah does. So they'll retrade off the back of it. Raise your edge, one of them's overextended, just so you're aware. SIMSY is forward. He might be able to get an eye line on ENCE as they do come towards the circle. I can just see him bombing towards them. Raise your edge want a piece of this action. They're getting involved. Yeah,
this is going to be a 3v3v3. So, full triumvirate, 9 alive, 3 on each team. Who's going to come out on top? Iroh would fancy this. SKUIJKE's got 6 kills and counting already, which is obviously what TSM have themselves. As miikaz, I think, was just spotted there by Iroh.
Go on, flash him. I want to see flashes used more.
It's going to be TSM that will engage ENCE first, I believe, just based off the fact they had him covered. Look, Iroh's down low, QBZ in hand. It's going to try and push it. Is TRYFFELI about to go over the silhouette over that brow of that hill?
If they engage with Raise Your Edge, then TSM will probably just push this and try and collapse on it.
Well, center point is just to the right-hand side of TSM now. So they could realistically take the center first. Problem is Raise Your Edge have a brow of a hill, right, that they can back behind, which gives them the advantage, the Pika's advantage, effectively. Iroh's going to be the first man that will engage with miikaz.
Time to go.
Almost certainly forced with it. There we go. miikaz will catch one. Iroh will respond. Gets a tiniest bit of blue there. SKUIJKE knows that one's going to go for the repeat. SKUIJKE does. That could be number 7. It is. SKUIJKE having a massive game. Make it 8 now as he confirms the one for miikaz there. And now he sees the gun. Rory's gun spotting out the backside. Will get him down. SKUIJKE going huge in this game. What is going on today? We've had some 9 and 8 kill games all the way through. Raise Your Edge though. They've got the angle. 60 round the side. Will catch SKUIJKE down. Oh, but the blues took him down. Massive mistake. SKUIJKE will follow, and Raise Your Edge will take themselves another victory. The 3rd one, I believe, so far. It's a 7-kill game, and they continue their placement in that top 5.
17-point win here on Sanhok for the boys on Raise Your Edge. Another team that we were looking towards coming into this phase, phase number 3. Slightly different roster shuffle. They brought over a Kiwi and added him to the roster, as well as the Spaniard, and so far called a monster has not failed to deliver. This roster is looking good. How many points were they on? 70. 7th place. It's not quite top 6 coming into this, but it's certainly a damn sight better than what we've been seeing from them. This is a really good roster going into this phase.
Well, 2nd place for ENCE, much better. Massive game from SKUIJKE there. I think it was 8, maybe even 9 at the end there, kills. Big play from him. TSM, they were, I think it was inevitable that they were going to be the target. It was all about who came on top in those few little trades. SKUIJKE, obviously the man that counted there. Great to see, though. I love seeing fights like that up close. Pure guns, no grenades used at all between any of that. And if they'd have found Gax's body, they'd have found 7, which was actually just on that beachhead. If anyone would have gone looking for it, there were 7 grenades there.
It's nice, and I think this is the one positive, a positive I want to say that kind of comes off of this map, is that your individual units, like SKUIJKE for example, do have the capabilities to go off on that ladder. It's very close combat, and a very close quarter kind of scenario. Using those rocks, using trees, bushes, grass, whatever, to your advantage to be able to get those kills. I mean, it was close. He did a really good job on SIMSY at the end there. I don't know if he went down. I'm not sure if he did pick up that 8th point or not, but still, it was inevitable. They're going up against TSM. They're down, they're damaged, and then the 3rd party comes in.
It's all about who engages first. Yeah, the third team will. If you're not the one fighting first, then you're just going to come up and pick up the pieces. It was close though. It was close. Obviously, one went down, 60 went down in the blue, another one fell, and then it ended up in a 1v1. But it's Raise Your Edge once again that picked themselves up the win. They ended up sitting on the edge for quite a while, and it worked out. They played their cards right. Phase 6 coming down from the north to the south and getting that compound. It absolutely worked out. There with Parla on the couch.